Hello, Collective. It's Brandon Curtis at Entpgathering, Science and Spirituality meeting with another psychic investigation. Today's channeled topic is, or title is, the trauma of the gifted child. I'll be tapping into the collective, you, and your origin stories, also the early years where trauma may have been experienced. I don't know what's going to come out. I was just given the title, and I'm going to roll with it like I normally do in my readings. Before I get into it, though, I would like to thank those who donate to Entpgathering. Specifically out of yesterday's reading, which was a long one. I won't apologize for that, but I will try to keep this reading down to under an hour. But a great heartfelt thank you for the donation received by the donation sent by Chroma Solaris. So my dear, I thank you very much. It was very generous, and it's going to help me do more readings of this nature. Today's focus will be on, I'm feeling, earth angels, possibly star seeds, light workers, and healers, because, as you know, Collective, it's through our experience of early childhood trauma that the divine, that the universe has safely led us through. And now we're finding in the collective people who are awakening and integrating those lessons into our present day selves and egos and heart space, so that we can finish out our spiritual ascension and step into our power, so that we can then reach back and help those who are just coming into the early stages of spiritual ascension. I'll be using 3 decks today, 7 cards from each deck, starting with the Celestial Bodies Oracle deck. Then I will pair that card with the Dark Days Tarot deck, and then we'll finish it off with the Star Child Tarot with an emphasis on Akashic Records. So this is a general collective reading. Don't force anything. Take only what resonates. And I don't know what's going to come out, which is always exciting. Let's see what the first channeled song is. I am using my YouTube channel, the Pleiadian High Priest, if you want to follow me there, off YouTube Music. Daydreaming by Radiohead is the first channeled song. I'm a big fan of Radiohead, and their first album, not their first album, but OK Computer was, which I believe was released in 96 or 97, maybe 98, was from start to finish a replay of my dream theme from early childhood, which I've talked about in prior readings, that being post-apocalyptic, dystopian, alien invasion, zombie apocalypse, like where society has collapsed, the structures, the patriarchy, capitalist organization, and many of us were just out setting up camps along highways and freeways in the forests and rural areas, taking over abandoned community buildings and high rises and churches and auditoriums where we would all congregate for a few days and then move on to the next spot. All the time, kind of bartering and sharing, passing through commune-like developments where people were growing food, and there was no money being exchanged. Yet there was always a hint of anxiety that kept us all moving forward. I would usually be alone and sort of herding people in the direction where they were looking to go. Daydreaming by Radiohead, dreamers, they never learn, beyond the point of no return, and it's too late, the damage is done. This goes beyond me, beyond you, the white room by a window where the sun comes through, and we are just happy to serve you. I'm going to turn this down. A lovely Tom York. All right. I said I'm going to keep this to a respectable time. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome back, subscribers, and welcome new subscribers. The comments in the last reading were awesome and plentiful and much appreciated. And it would appear, and I felt too, that there was a lot of catharsis that was initiated in the last reading, which is like an hour and 48 minutes. For a shorter reading, check out the previous 2 psychic investigation readings. All right. Let's call in Archangel Michael, Archangel Uriel, Archangel Raphael, and Archangel Gabriel to ground the collective on the topic of the trauma of the gifted child. And also, Archangel Michael, please protect the accuracy of this reading. Also, I would like to call in the God and Goddess energy of the celestial bodies. For me, Uranus is currently on my ascendant, conjunct with my ascendant, and Pluto is conjunct my MC, my midheaven. As of today, I began a cycle that is to last maybe 8 months. Fitting as Pluto, being on my MC, rules the sign of Scorpio ruling the 8th house of transformation. I am and will be confronting my fears and old habits that I'm assured will be removed from my energy moving forward as I work to grow the collective here. And also that may mean radical changes for the channel in the coming months. Days, really, weeks, and months. So, let's check it out with 7 cards from this deck. And I'll cut it and we'll get it going. How many minutes in am I? I can just talk and talk and talk. I love talking. Second channeled song is On My Knees by Rufus de Sol. Looks like there's rain up ahead, like there's a crack in the heavens. Feels like my day could be turning, like I can tell that my luck's gonna change. If you could see me now, I'd probably let you down, but that's enough for me. You got me begging, baby. Baby. All right, in the root chakra, we have the sun. Root chakra, color red, earth energy, is the place that serves as the foundation for all the remaining chakras, from sacral to crown. This is where we hold our anxiety, our fears, but also where we maintain and build our sense of security. Sun also represents the ego. Our sun sign represents our ego. Our moon sign represents our emotions and how we actually feel we are. And then our rising sign, I'm feeling, is where the universe wants us. It's the sign, possibly the house, but the energy that I believe the universe wants us, the divine wants us to embody in this lifetime to help us move through all of our houses, understand our houses, and slay the demons in each of the houses, and work with the angels in our houses. In the sacral chakra, we have the number 11. And we have the Kabbalah, Tree of Life. I'll show this to you. So we have the crown, victory, understanding, understanding with Saturn. Kingdom at the bottom, the earth, the sun in the middle with beauty, and we have Uranus, with knowledge. Mercy is Jupiter. And I'm going to leave it at that. Strength would be Mars. Victory is Neptune? Ah, that makes sense. Poseidon. All right, so that's in the 11th house is Aquarius, ruled by Uranus. And by the way, I've just posted on my website, Entpgathering.com, a solar cycle special for Aquarius season for $22, double 11. We'll meet up. I'll throw some cards. We'll take a look at what energy is in your chakra. You can choose the deck. And we'll get to know each other, first and foremost. It is Aquarius season after all. And talk about your own spiritual ascension. And in that 30 minutes, you can ask unlimited questions. You can talk for as long as you want, and I'll absorb that energy and help you process any hurdles that you might be currently moving over. So, in the sacral, which is feminine energy, water energy, the color orange, we have the number 11. 11, I always say, is the number of heaven, along with number 7. And you have the Tree of Life, the Kabbalah. I'm not getting any downloads. Let's move on. Libra, in the solar plexus, Venusian energy. And is card number 11 often in the tarot. Venusian energy represents the signs of Taurus and Libra, the Empress card, and is very much about, well, Libra rules over the 7th house, which is about relationships. As a Taurus rising, my 7th house is ruled by Scorpio, which is ruled by the planets Pluto and Mars. So that's in the solar plexus. Yellow is the color. It's associated with the planet Mars and fire energy, signs of Aries and Leo. and Sag, masculine fire energy. In the heart space, we have mutable. I like this. So the mutable signs, Pisces, Gemini, and Sagittarius. We have a universal journey here that we're all on, aren't we? And I'm just hearing, for many of us who are healers and light workers, whatever trauma that we may have went through younger, let's say that, you're a triple Taurus like myself, which is fixed earth energy. That trauma certainly loosened me up. And that's, the mutable energies are very much needed so that we can travel our life path, our hero's journey, without being stuck or without running out of energy, having started it with gusto, but without the right intention, not knowing our destination. That's in the heart space, the color green, and the element of air. In the throat chakra, we have South Node, North Node, which I'm learning is to be utilized. This has everything to do with they're not planetary positions. They have to do with the cycles of the moon, the place in the heavens during the moon's transits, and how it passes over, I believe, the or through the equinox. So typically I hear that South Node is past life energy, and North Node is where the divine wants us to head towards. These are in signs, of course, and are opposite signs. For example, my North Node is in Aquarius, so that my South Node is in Leo. And depending on what house that North and South Node are in, will tell you a lot about your past life experience, and also in what house you are to set your intentions, and maybe put it as a destination. That's in the throat space, color blue, and the sign of Taurus, the energy of Taurus. In the third eye, we have the number 3. This oracle deck is comprised of not only celestial bodies and their energies, but numerology. The life path of 3 are great communicators. They are very creative, and if they're not given a creative outlet or a chance to commune with other individuals, because it's a very expressive life path to be on. I'm a life path 3, and also my expression number is 3. We can become depressed if we don't have that creative outlet, whether we're introverted or extroverted. That has a lot to do with how successful we might be, or something to consider if you're life path 3. it'll be much easier for a life path 3 who's extroverted to get out and commune with other people and express yourself and be creative. However, if you're introverted like me, growing up, I was very, very introverted. So much so, I think it scared my mother and my immediate family, because I was a bit, well, odd, being a Heyoka Empath and being psychic and very connected to spirits. And the Yod. This is the Yod is I'm going to read this for you because it's a term that's not often talked about or mentioned in readings. Oh, look, I opened it up to 3. The question of 3 is, what message am I communicating to the world? The mantra is, I embrace my most authentic self, leading with heartfelt communication. Notable figures with Life Path 3, David Bowie, Christina Aguilera, Ellie Goulding, and Alec Baldwin. Oh, Alec. Key terms: creativity, communication, heart-centered, enthusiastic, self-expression, magic, with a K, inspirational, motivational, and optimistic. The 3 is known as the communicator. It's one of the most creative numbers in numerology, oftentimes choosing to express itself through writing. Several famous writers, artists, and musicians are Life Path 3s. The 3 energy has an endless well of ideas that never seems to dry up, and oftentimes they work in or around the entertainment industry. Nicknamed the sunshine number, the 3's enthusiasm for life is infectious. They are highly energetic, magnetic, and an expansive presence wherever they go. There's also a certain level of mysticism associated with the power of 3. 3 represents a complete cycle. It is the beginning, middle, and end, or the past, present, and future, and the mind-body-soul connection. Shadow of the 3, 3s tend to be more empathetic and emotionally sensitive than the other numbers. They see things, intuit, before most, and need to learn to be patient when it comes to both handling conflict and allowing for others to catch up to their own inner guidance wisdom. They can also withhold communicating if they worry it will not be heard or well received. Ain't that the truth? The 3's challenge is to always shine their light and communicate their most authentic self, regardless of how it is received. Okay. We've got Move by Beyonce with Grace Jones and Thames. Move out the way, I'm with the girls and we all need space. When the queens come through, part like the Red Sea. Move out the way. How many times I must say, Issa home run when the team touch base. Interesting about the Red Sea. I'll talk about that in another reading. Okay. Thanks for your patience. Hopefully this reading will be under an hour still. We'll get through it. All right, the Yod aspect pattern is named after the 10th letter of the Hebrew alphabet, known to us as the finger or hand of God. Astrologically, this aspect pattern comprises 3 aspects: 2 quincunxes, also known as inconjuncts, angles spanning 150 degrees, and a sextile, creating an isosceles triangle in the chart. Yods suggest that the native is meant to contend with deeply ingrained patterns within their own family. We are talking, the title of this reading is The Trauma of the Gifted Child. Which have likely been present for generations. Exactly. As healers, as light workers, we are breaking generational curses in our bloodlines. It can be a heavy, energetic burden to carry, as the native often does not understand how to use the planets in play and must consciously work to engage and activate the planet at the apex and use it as a tool for healing. Life feels like a continual engagement of something bigger than the native's expectations, a rigorous experience of encountering something cosmic. Key terms: karma, ancestors, trauma, healing, and cycles. The light aspect in light, the Yod shows us that an individual's tasked with great responsibility in this lifetime, suggesting an immense capacity for bringing about transformation and healing. Shadow aspects. In shadow, the yod suggests deep ancestral weight that is carried through our lived experience. Cyclic experience of confusion or feeling out of place may be a difficult expression of the yod. The question is, what is your orientation to your ancestry, and how do you do the important work of connecting with the grief that lies beneath the surface? Suggestion: observe your natal chart and determine if there is a yod formation within your natal portrait. Observe the planet that is at the apex of the yod, the planet being pointed to by two quincunx angles. Reflect on your relationship to this planet's energy in your life. Do you feel that you know how to put it to use? Do you connect with the message of the planet in question? Observe the house that this planet resides in and consider the nature of the planet in this area of your life. Thinking of instances where the message of the planet at the apex was not integrated, missed, ignored, or forgotten by you or other people will help you begin to build the narrative around the focal point of your yod. The mantra is, through conscious work, I have the power to heal myself and my ancestors. Can't make this stuff up. I love when spirit comes through with great messages. So we have here 7. That was in the crown, as it should be. All right. Let's take a look at the darker energy of these energies and the messages so far received. Okay, that wanted to pop out. We've got the Empress, along with the Sun from the Dark Days Tarot, Major Arcana, card number 3 of the Major Arcana, and represents Venusian energy, or the planet Venus. Most often associated with the 3rd card in our spread, the card of Libra. All right, thank you, Spirit. Take both of these. We have the Death card in the Sacral Chakra, and card number 11 with the Tree of Life. Pluto, Mars, energy, and this is also another major arcana of Scorpio, a fixed water sign. So Ace of Pentacles, Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo, with Libra fitting, and all aces are co-created with the divine or given to you by the divine. This is with the in the solar plexus and on the card of Libra. All right, heart chakra. Thank you. Knight of Cups. I like that. Knight of Cups is water energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. And you can see here the individual they are on a humpback whale moving through ocean water. And this is over the mutable card. So it's Piscean energy being on the mutable card, as Pisces is mutable water energy. So I'm going to go with that. I might normally associate it with Cancer. No. Movement. I mean, that's what, the king and queen in dispatches the knight, in my opinion. It's inherently masculine energy because it takes action, no matter what element it's in. And I find the pages to be more cardinal energy. All right, so in the throat space, along with South Node and North Node, we have, speaking of which, the Page of Pentacles. So this would be Capricorn energy, but it can also be associated with Taurus and Virgo. And because it's a female being represented here in this deck, I find that sign of Virgo is the most feminine of the earth signs, the fixed earth, or the earth signs. Although all earth signs are feminine, along with the water signs. Oh. Because if you think about it, you have, of the earth signs, you have Taurus, the bull. Although, it takes a lot to get me angry. And I do sit well in my feminine energy. I'm also thinking about Ferdinand the bull. Wasn't he the one that was always kind of dreamy and seemingly lost and compliant, maybe even lazy, but always just kind of lazing about in the sunshine, out in pasture, grazing, and enjoying life. But they are bulls, but it takes a lot to make me pop off. I will, and you better believe that you better watch out when I do, because you don't want to catch my horns. Speaking of danger, we've got the devil, Capricorn energy in the third eye, the third major arcana, out on the deck, and it is over the card of 3, life path 3. And last but not least, no, I'm going to take another one. In the crown chakra, we have Coffee by Sylvanus Esso. True, it's dance, we know the moves, the bar, the dip, the woo. Though the words are true, the state is old news. Yeah, that dance of life. Sometimes it's a hard one to practice or even undertake. I often use the phrase dancing with the devil. And that's what we do as light workers, because we're, as light workers, as healers, as earth angels, we're also, if you think about it, shadow walkers. We have, most of us, or are in the process now of dancing with the devil, and looking at our darker aspects to find that balance that we need to heal the masculine and the feminine, generate self-love, and then, as I said at the top of this reading, many of you know that's our purpose, is to take this experience that is it's superhuman. And because of that, it's very life path 3 energy. It's very much about tapping into our yods and working with our south node and north node energy, being mutable in the heart space, so we can learn to forgive with compassion, but keep it moving. We have another page of cups this time, with a yod. A mermaid is depicted. The darker aspects of a mermaid are they're killers, similar to banshees. I think this card represents, and in this lifetime, or in this age, the mermaid represents a healer, somebody who is able to swim amongst the in and out of Piscean water energy. in this age of Pisces. Why am I shuffling again? Ten of Swords, ego death. Gemini energy, the sun in Gemini. And I said at the top here that, and we have the Empress on top of the sun card in the root chakra. You know, the root chakra is our center of where we hold any fears and anxiety. So many of us, as light workers, have essentially restructured our root chakras. We've had to really sit in that energy and understand it and not be afraid of it, not run from it. Friends by Flume, featuring Rio Cragen. Pressure on me, put that on me, you did. Build up slowly, explode on ya. I did. Fed me lies, you're a snake. Yes, I meant that, I did. Fed me lies, yes, you did. You're gonna regret that. You know, a lot of death to friends and relationships and ties that bind. In the root chakra, the sun, our ego, goes through a death process with the Ten of Swords, sun in Gemini. Gemini representing the third house. We have the Empress card, the third of the major arcana. But the third house is Gemini, air energy, mutable air energy. And it's for me, it's the left and right hemispheres of the brain, which are masculine and feminine. Thinking out loud, I'm thinking out loud, Gemini energy. All that negativity is bringing me down. You're so toxic. How you live like this? Don't want to be friends. I don't want to be friends. I had this on repeat. In fact, it's a surprise. Please follow the YouTube. It's in a playlist that I've created called Myrrh. This is music, empathy, and Reiki. And as you cycle through the playlist, each are designed to match the 7 chakras. There are 7 songs in there. And Friends is in the solar plexus chakra, if I remember correctly. Not only can you get a benefit out of listening to that playlist from start to finish. I mentioned OK Computer. Computer, I believe, came out in '98, and it was the first album in a very, very long time where it was not necessary, but to listen to it from start to finish was an experience that a lot of other artists at the time were not putting into their work, into their albums. And as a result, you know, that I wanted to say control of energy, of vibration, of frequency and sound, creates this beautiful masterpiece of storytelling and, in my opinion, it's chock full of prophetic messages, because if you listen to the themes of that album in each song, it essentially was a prophetic message of where we are currently on this planet. One of the songs from it being Karma Police. All right, last but not least, 3, 2, 1 is the time. Trauma of the gifted child. I I see it playing out here. I'm already seeing a story which we'll go over once we get these 3 or these 7 cards from this deck. Again, this is the Star Child Tarot deck with an emphasis on Akashic Records. First card out, along with the Sun and the Empress, we've got the Ace of Wands. This is all being clear. So we have in the root chakra, the Sun card came out first, paired with the Empress, a ego death process that every gifted child goes through traumatic childhood experience. No collective, this is building such great spiritual power and passion in you. And for those of you who maybe just beginning your spiritual ascension and beginning or in the middle of your healing process, know that I know some of you are scared. In fact, one of my subscribers did place that in the comments for all to see. And I think, Aloe, you did maybe watch the last reading where I recommended that to refrain from leaving lengthy comments, putting your energy of your story and what you're going through. Don't put it out there just in case, there are still darker relationships that are that you're trying to break away from, and you just simply put what you did. And your point was well made. I think hopefully you got some cathartic energy out, but also in the process, okay, thank you, Spirit. I think my spiritual ascension and processing of negative emotions and going through multiple ego deaths during the process through the dark night of the soul is a constant reminder, or a process that redefines your boundaries for you each time. I'm scratching my shin right now. And that's what's necessary and missing for a lot of empaths and light workers, starseeds and healers from their early childhood conditioning and experience was this. Also got some spiritual burps. What was missing was, early childhood modeling of how to place, how to build, how to maintain healthy boundaries, not only with others, but with oneself. And here I see in the root chakra, with the Sun representing the ego, masculine fire energy, we have Venusian energy with the Empress, and now a brand new spiritual fire. Masculine, yes, because it is fire, but this is also, or this element is also, for me, representing intuition and spirituality. I think, fire came from the gods when Prometheus delivered it. So, I think just more confirmation that the process yields great strength. And through the process collective, you've manifested an Ace of Wands. The second ace so far out. We have Angels by the XX. Light reflects from your shadow. It is more than I thought could exist. You move through the room like breathing was easy. If someone believed me, they would be as in love with you as I am. They would be as in love with you as I am. They would be as in love with you as I am. They would be in love, love, love. That's a direct message from the angels and further confirmation. In the sacral chakra, we have the card number 11, representing the tree of life, and the death card, scorpionic energy. The 11 is a master number, and it's one that's very creative and expressive, but also one that teaches others. This is in your sacral, feminine energy, creativity, sacred sexuality. You have the death card. So, there's this early childhood trauma, or what you're going through right now is putting a death to all the cords of attachment to the sacral chakra, which keeps our creativity dampened, and our past sexual partners too. They're also, some of them are still connected, and it's very natural to have these individuals pop into our psyche, into our hearts, and into that space during this process. I can speak from my own experience. I had to remember and consistently cut the cords that I thought I had cut long ago from as many sexual partners as I could remember. And I've had a lot of one-night stands. So it was a process, but again, I've been celibate now for a year and a half, 2 years. I don't even think about the last time anymore because it's not important to me. I cultivate my own chi. I rarely pop one anymore. And when I do, it's I don't use any sort of visual stimulus. I don't use pornography like I used to, because that was one of the things that I had to create a boundary with, and for myself internally to protect my sacral chakra, because I'll be damned if and I would be damned if I'm going to allow somebody in as easily to connect with that individual, connect into my sacral chakra anymore moving forward. And that's a healthy boundary that I've created in the process of the dark night of the soul. I've also cut out the toxic ties that I associated with the act of sex. So I see for you, collective, a death in that area. But with scorpionic energy, there's always that fiery phoenix rebirth energy along with it. Two of Wands, Aries energy. This is the Two of Wands is about setting your dominion. So I love this because you're setting healthy boundaries against, or with, I should say, the number 11, which is also 11th house, I'm picking up. So healthy boundaries with your community, with others outside you that you care for and want to grow and nurture, but also boundaries of the sacral chakra. As I said, the next person who touches me, my naked self, my naked body, I want to be courted moving forward. I'm going to take it super slow and really enjoy getting to know someone. I consider myself a demisexual anymore. That's somebody who needs a really strong emotional connection to my future partner, to my partners, whether they're platonic or romantic, sexual or not. In the solar plexus, we have the card Libra, or the sign of Libra, with Ace of Pentacles, and we have the Queen of Cups, Cancerian energy. Libra is cardinal air energy, and it's about relationships. Then we have the Ace of Pentacles. That's a new start, a new grounded birth. I mean, this card, the Ace of Pentacles, often represents a birth of a child, because it's, earth energy, so it's physical matter. And we have the Queen of Cups, very motherly, very Cancerian to me. Queen of Cups is always, I'm first reminded of the sign of Cancer, because fourth house energy is ruled by the moon, a sign of Cancer, and it's that place that no matter where we go, there we are. That feeling that there's always a safe place within us, because we have rooted out any fears, anxieties, hurts, trauma, and we've set up healthy boundaries. So it's a place that we can, I want to say retreat to, but that would imply that we're running away from something threatening. And that may be true, and that is true, but it's a place that we can simply relax and be in, and not have to be in fear or with that feeling of hiding away for safety, for dear life. All right, in the heart space, we have the mutable sign energy, along with the Knight of Cups, which I equated to Piscean energy, mutable water energy. We have perspective. Oh, and look, the Hanged Man, Piscean energy, Neptunian energy, 12th house energy, and the story of Odin, who hung himself upside down to kill off his ego. And our ego is not only associated with the mind, but the mind confuses us in believing that we're actually choosing. Our ego fools us in thinking that what we want or believe we need is coming from a choice made from the heart space. That is not true. It's all up here. This is where the devil can come in. It's through air energy and thought energy, and that triggers emotion, which is why we feel that it's coming from the heart space, when in reality, 5th house, Leo energy is the number 5. So that's 2 legs, 2 arms, 4, which comprise the body, the self. 5 would be adding the head, thought, and ego. And it's when we move into 6 that we add the torso. The torso is comprised of certainly the heart, but also the spleen, which is right below it. And this is where we keep anxiety and fear within and close to the heart space. So I like this, because to be mutable in the heart space, we need to embody Knight of Cups energy of emotion and understand it through perspective and through killing off parts of our ego that are affecting our heart space. All right, in the throat space, Taurian energy, the color blue, along with South Node, North Node, and the Page of Pentacles, we have the moon. The moon is exalted in the sign of Taurus. And the heart chakra and the throat chakra work together. And to gain perspective, here with the Hanged Man in the heart space, interesting. So in the heart space, and because these chakras work together, I'm going to talk about them in this way. We have the mutable card out there and South Node, North Node from the same deck. And I said at the top of this reading that it's to gain full advantage of the South Node and North Node energies in our life path and our destiny. It's good to bounce back and forth between the two and find a healthy balance, kind of like being on a seesaw. There are times where we need to dip into our past life experience and pull out the helpful things, the lessons that we've learned in past lives, and apply them to the lesson that we're tasked with learning in this lifetime, in this incarnation. Then we have the Knight of Cups into the Page of Pentacles. So we've taken action in the heart space concerning emotions and then moved into a solid kind of new, because pages I often feel are holding the Ace of Pentacles, which we saw in the solar plexus here. And yeah, it's a new start of action. We're the neophyte with the Page of Earth energy, and Mother Gaia and Sister Moon work together. I'm picking up not only perspective, enlightenment with the Hangman energy, working with intuition, but also with this Page of Pentacles and the Moon. You know, if you haven't done this already, I would highly recommend that you start living your life as much as you possibly can from the daily cycle of the week, because each day is ruled by a different planet, a different energy. And also add into, as much as you possibly can, you track what sign the moon is in, and develop your own moon cycle. This really grounds us, all of us, no matter what sign we are, what element we are comprised of mostly. And see amazing changes in your life. See anxiety dropping away in certain areas of your life, like if at all possible. Let's say, well, my experience during COVID was, I was a union member working for a state division. I was unionized, and we all, I was the supervisor of an office, the largest one in Anchorage, Alaska, of its kind in the state. And I closed down the office to public access. And then we all went home and started working remotely. And as we started to come back into the office, a lot of people were given the opportunity to remain at home and work at home, or they could come back to the office. Very few wanted to come back to the office, not because there was any fear of catching something. That threat was gone, but the division, because of the pandemic and because it was written to the bylaws of the contract, because we were all unionized, union members, we had great flexibility with our working hours. So I would highly suggest, if you can get away from it, don't work Mondays. Don't work Mondays. It's ruled by the moon. It's a day of nurturing oneself, of being introspective and doing things that bring you good comfort and healing, journaling. And start your workday on Tuesdays, ruled by Mars, masculine fire energy and one of action. Makes sense. So small things like that being implemented into your daily life, you'll see great amount of anxiety and worry you'll say goodbye to that, and you'll be able to remain grounded in the earth cycles much more easier than being forced to generate this energy. I think it's just like they changed the calendar to the start of the year being January 1st. That's all bullshit. It's really thrown off the winter cycle and the solar cycles that we live with and under. I think it's purely designed to keep us discombobulated, so we're not rooted, we're not grounded to the earth and her cycles. In the third eye, we have the number 3, life path 3, and the devil card. Did I even mention the devil card? 10th house energy. The devil is also known as the Lord of the Gates of Matter. 3 being a very creative number. Because we have danced with the devil in shadow work, in Dark Night of the Soul. Speaking of shadow, When I'm Small by Phantogram. Lucy's underground, she's got a mouth to feed. Am I underground or am I in between? Lucy's underground, she's got a mouth to feed. Am I underground or am I in too deep? Show me love. You've got your hand on the button now. Sure enough, you've got your hand on the button now. Working with 12th house energy, with 10th house energy, and working with the devil, dancing with the devil, learning our lessons, learning how they dance, the devil, and learning lessons through being tossed around by the devil sometimes, but ultimately winning. I mean, I think that's the whole point of shadow work is to get to know your demons and make them your bitches and say, get thee behind me, Satan. And not in a satanic way am I even suggesting this, making them your bitches so you can do dark magic and cast spells on other people. No, that's bullshit. That's left for true Satanists and practitioners of dark magic who are doing it intentionally. I'm talking sex magic. So when I talk about the sacral chakra, and there are, well, I'll just say there's one individual, a couple individuals in my life that I can feel them tugging on my sacral energy. One of whom I haven't even had any contact. Sex magic is real, or magic is real in general. As a life path 3, I can attest to. An example of that would be, and I know when these individuals are pulling on my energy, but I've set up an SPN, a spiritual private network anymore, with really strong firewalls, really strong boundaries, because I had to go through a process where I was being manipulated and magic was being done on me, and it just fucked up all my chakras. So that's a great lesson about going through the dark night of the soul. You'll definitely learn how to activate your kundalini and all of your chakras. Develop your third eye through watching readings like this, looking for synchronicity in your life, incorporating astrology and numerology into your daily life, because that's when the magic starts appearing. When you start changing your daily living to match the moon cycles, to match the daily cycles. Hell, I'll even check. Let's maybe there'll be some synchronicity in this message. So at the time of this reading, the ruler of the day is Jupiter. Thursday or Thor's Day. And each day has a ruler of the hour, and it's currently Venus. So, Jupiter and Venus, Jupiter and Venus energies are about right now. Not too shabby. I like that. All right, so with the 3 card and the Devil card, we have 2 of crystals in this deck, which would be Capricorn energy. And I like this in our 3rd eye because we've seen the 2 of Wands out. So we have fire and earth energy. And from this deck, I'm clearly picking up that this is what we've manifested. Of the 3 cards in each chakra, beginning with the celestial bodies and numerology cards, laying on top of that the Dark Days tarot cards, which for me represent some of the trauma that we've gone through, or the elements or the stages of the dark night of the soul. Got the Ace of Cups underneath here. So that's 3 aces in this deck. We got the 3 card in the 3rd eye. I find that this deck is the results of the underlying experience that we felt in early childhood conditioning. And then we kind of get a little bit specific about the maybe the types of trauma or how those lessons mixed with the traumas in the Dark Days Tarot. And then with the Akashic Star Child Tarot, we have the healing energy, expressed through the cards that we see out. So we have 22 out on the table, and 2 of crystals, Capricorn energy over the Devil card, which is Capricorn energy, and the number 3. So, because we have Dance with the Devil, he's no longer has control over us, and we know his games, and now we can almost slip into that devil energy and become the Lord of the gates of matter ourselves, which is a master manifester energy. But, without the dark magic and satanic shit, has nothing to do with that. I think it's people who haven't been through this type of work who gain magic, but it's through literally the devil and demons. They probably mistake it for having done some work, right? Or suffered greatly. Because they get material benefits from connecting all of their chakras with pure devil energy. They haven't learned to dance with the devil. They're being puppeteered, and they don't know it. At the same time, they're suffering, so they feel like they have been through some sort of egoic change or process that is bringing in the abundance, when they're completely blinded to the fact that it was all an illusion presented. Or there are some people who willingly, intentionally say, okay, I'm going to work with you in this incarnation. So 2 of Pentacles is, in the traditional tarot, appears like a fool, a juggler. But I think that image can be, it's what other people see, But I think the Two of Pentacles is very adaptable, very changeable, very mutable, and must needs be. And here, paired with the 3 card, the number 3, and its energies, and also the Devil, there's and the Two of Pentacles or crystals paired with the Two of Wands, that's earth and fire. Those 2 elements are perfect to manifest with. I think there's, because you're not having the any values that you would find that would kind of muddy the process of manifesting if you were to add water energy. And air energy, we can get caught up in our brain when it's much easier to work with inspiration, fire energy, or spirit energy in the material world. And those 2 elements alone. Because again, if you bring emotion into it, or your own values, emotions, water and air, for me, work together and often trigger each other. In my example of how the ego, air energy, will trigger emotions, and we can get those mixed up. So keep spirit in your vessel, remain grounded, and you can manifest anything you want in this 3D existence, in this world that's ruled by the devil, essentially. You can become the Lord of the Gates of Matter on your own. But you got to learn his tricks. 3 of Cups, this is my card of celebrity in the crown, along with Page of Cups and the Yod, which is 2 quincunxes and a sextile working together. A lot of synchronicity here, and a lot of, I think for you collective, there's a lot of very clear confirmation that this work that you've done and or are doing is leading to great success. You are on the path of the divine when you're doing this work. So there's no need to be scared. And a note on that, physiologically, in our body, there is no difference. The body can't really separate. Channeled song, I just heard the word body. Powerful, featuring Ellie Goulding by Major Lazer. In the body, physiologically, there's no difference between fear or anxiety and being excited or ready to perform, ready to act. So long as you set your intention, you're good, and you should transmute in your body, but mostly in your thoughts. Transmute the thought that you're scared or fearful and frozen to, oh, this is my body, this is the universe, these are my angels telling me that I'm simply ready to take a step, be the fool. And no matter how far or how hard you fall, or how many times, you're always going to be caught by Mother Gaia, right? The gravity of the situation will bring you down, and it will weigh on your heart heavy. But is that not simply a lesson? And you cannot expect to get it right the very first time. We must balance success with failure, because it's through failure in our goal towards success, on our path to success, it's the failure that teaches us when we're off course, and when to and how to and where to redirect our intention. Got the King of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. And the Ten of Wands, very spiritual, Sagittarius energy, more mutable, fire energy. All right, where are we on time? Hour 15. I don't know if I'm going to keep this or not. But if I do post it and you are watching it this far, I thank you for joining me in this reading. And if you want information on what I do, or if you'd like to book one of my solar cycle specials on my website, for $22, we'll get together via Zoom or FaceTime or just simply over the phone. I'll throw 7 cards for you from your deck of choosing, if I have it. And we'll tap into your energy, no matter if you are just beginning your dark night of the soul, or if you're in the middle of it, or you've completed it and you just want to meet up and connect and share your experience, or ask questions about your current, ask questions about the current energy surrounding you and your situation or person, situationship. Through me, we can get some answers. And also, as a reminder, I'm a MBTI Certified Practitioner, so I'm way up into cognitive functions theory and the work of individuation, and we can talk about how to identify synchronicity in your life. And in that period of time, I'd be happy to calculate your numerology, your life path number, your challenge number, your soul urge number, and whatever we can squeeze into 30 minutes, all for $22, I'm willing to do, because it would be just a great opportunity to meet up with you and get a feel for the collective here at Entpgathering. So I just want to thank you again for joining me, and if you have any questions, please drop them in the comments, and I'll be sure to answer them. And yeah, let's say if you want to ask a question about the individuation process, or ask me a specific question about how I managed a certain area of it, feel free to do so, and I'll get to those ASAP. Or you can go directly to my website and book 30 minutes with me and take advantage of the solar cycle special Aquarius season. A chance to connect and for me to throw some cards for you. All right, until next time, namaste.